Financial institutions that have operated in accordance with Sharia principle, Ayub 2007, are to help achieve the objectives that have been set. The operation is controlled by the legal framework and also controlled by financial institutions. In this topic, we will describe the legal act, frameworks, and model of auditing of Islamic institutions. An accounting framework is a set of criteria used and published to measure, present, recognize, and disclose information contained in an entity's financial statement. The framework in Islamic accounting should be relevant, loyal representation, and entrain qualitative characteristics. Next, model auditing is a reference to an accounting and auditing organization for Islamic financial institution AAOFI. In turn, the organization provides auditing, accounting, governance, ethnic, and Sharia standard for Islamic financial institution and industry IFI business, while legal acts in Islamic institution refer to Islamic law. The Islamic legal system always operates in any way and is sometimes not continuous. That's all. I will pass to the next presenter.
Thanks to previous presenter. Next, I will present about contents in auditing of Islamic institutions. In recent years, Islamic banking has been growing rapidly around the world. This may be due to fast financial statements issued by the auditor, which has led to a decline in the confidence of participants in the financial markets. The crisis has also increased the need for Sharia compliance audits, as transactions conducted in accordance with Sharia will not result in fraud. Islamic financial institutions IFIs established to comply with Sharia principles have shown good growth around the world. Every product introduced by Islamic financial institutions needs to be analyzed well to know whether it is in accordance with Sharia principle or not. With this, there are several different organizations have been established to conduct audit to ensure the transparency and legitimacy of a muamalat transaction from a Sharia perspective is carried out and implemented in all transactions. Among the organizations are the Islamic Financial Institutions Accounting and Auditing Organization AAOIFI, the Islamic Financial Service Board IFSB, the International Islamic Liquidity Management Corporation IILM, the International Islamic Rating Agency IIRA, and the International Islamic Financial Market IIFM. The auditing system in Islamic and conventional are very different. There are 5 elements that will be discussed. First, the three-party relationship. In conventional auditing, the parties are entity, auditors, and user. While in Islamic auditing, it involves entity, auditors, and wide range of users. Second element is proper subject matter. Conventional audit relates to a section of financial statements and non-financial statements for Islamic audit. Third, suitable criteria. Islamic audit referring to Sharia principles and rules, AAOIFI standards, and proper parts of IFRS. Conventional audit only refer to International Financial Reporting Standards, IFRS. Fourth element is adequate proper evidence or proof. The conventional audit goes through the observation, watching, and verification to attain document evidence. For Islamic audit, the SSB rulings, national fiqh boards, and fatwas of international with the addition of conventional evidence or proof. Last, written warranty report. Islamic audit has a detailed report that prepared by the Sharia audit, while conventional audit use standard audit reports. Okay, I think that's all from me. Next, I will pass to the next presenter.
Thank you for the previous presenter. I will continue with the issue of framework in auditing in Islamic institution. First is Sharia compliance is from the internal, whereby Sharia harvesting audit should be conducted by the internal auditors. This will result in some stakeholders having a level of confidence and trust in the IF. Stated by Abdul Rahman 2008. In Internal and external development that empowers market discipline, which is a guide to Sharia institution harmony and uniformity, are required to address the issue, stated by Grace and Pellegrini 2006. Second is, there is also an issue of responsibility for unpredictability in Sharia audit and meeting a person requirement to be paid for service according to the institution attached, stated by Farah 2012. The opinion of this study is also in line with the new study which finds the Sharia audit was conducted in an in-depth manner has resulted in the competency of the auditor being questioned on improper issue. Third is, this issue regarding the scope of audit for Sharia, the qualification of Sharia auditors who have been empirically scrutinized in order to bridge the theoretical and practice gap, stated by Qasim 2009 and Basidudin 2019. The framework of Sharia audit and audit scope should be expanded to address this issue. In fact, Sharia audit should be conducted independently and permanently. For is, according to Yaacob 2012, research issue and challenge, there are issues related to inefficiency and lack of accountability and will impair independence from Sharia auditors. In his opinion, the Sharia auditors have no accountability due to absence of examiner. First is, the independence and objectivity of the internal auditor in ensuring the quality of the audit should be emphasized based on the opinion of professional bodies and standard. This is due to independence and objectivity being the main element of the internal audit, stated by Al-Akra 2016. That's all from me. We continue with the next presenter. Thank you.
Thank you, previous presenter. Now I will continue presenting the issue in framework of auditing in Islamic institution. Pandemic COVID-19 not only claimed lives and induced health issues for the complete global populace, but it even more than that, disrupted every organizational device, no exception to the framework of auditing in Islamic accounting. An issue that has always been a hot topic is debts. After months of lockdown, the economy began to plummet. Many businesses started to have trouble paying employee salaries, with worst of all had to lay off employees in large numbers. As a result, the people are beginning to be affected in continuing their daily lives while bearing the burden of debt that must be paid on time. Auditing of debt requires an understanding of complicated debt contractions, classification of debt as in step with covenants, and trades of debts. Within the economic statements, the debit balance at the reporting date is reporting the stability shaped beneath current or non-modern day liabilities depending on the maturity of debt.
AUFI, as the legal authority, issues assistance proposals for the affected people, which is known as a moratorium. A moratorium is a package of deferral of repayment in line with the hard and fast time that applies to every kind of mortgage, whose applies to individuals who qualify the terms. AUFI state a few conclusions or solutions to the implementation of the moratorium, and some will be discussed. First, a payment moratorium without an increase in profit. The original transaction cannot be derecognized. The transaction structure allowing deferred income to be amortized over the term of the settlement. The anticipated contract period in recognize of the transaction is taken into consideration, extended in two forms, which are in oblique and optional payment moratorium by the regulator. Second, payment moratorium in other transactions. In all different transactions where a moratorium on payment is allowed, with or without additional returns, accounting remedy shall be constant with the relevant FAS necessities. That is all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Issue in models of auditing in Islamic institutions. Audits are conducted to determine the validity of data as well as to assess the internal control of a system. An audit's objective is to offer a viewpoint on the person, organization, or system. And financial auditing is an important aspect since it gives shareholders and other stakeholders of a company an independent confidence on the financial statements. Besides, the scope of auditing for IFIs now includes Sharia compliance in the implementation of Islamic financial transactions. However, there are various of concerns with the auditing model used by Islamic institutions. Firstly, inspectors who seem to be Sharia compliant include the Hisbah institution and the Mustajib judge. IFIs must understand that the most important part for them is to ensure that all services provided to are responsible for Sharia compliance. Therefore, Sharia Supervisory Board (SSB) plays important roles in ensuring strict compliance, but SSB members are paid by the IFIs. Secondly, competent Sharia auditors. Those involved in Islamic finance must believe that the Sharia auditors is sufficiently independent. It is typical to heavily rely on or follow the advice of Sharia experts. If we want to totally independent Sharia auditors, this is unacceptable. In Islamic finance, Sharia audit is argued to be one of the social functions for the benefit of the Ummah. Third, regarding AAOI FI's choice of the word Sharia review rather than Sharia audit could indicate a lower level of assurance in the opposite case. Besides, a lack of qualified Sharia board members with appropriate knowledge could have a negative impact on Sharia governance and the public trust. As a result, the competency of Sharia board members is critical to ensuring an effective Sharia governance mechanism in IFIs because there are many misconceptions about the definition of Sharia audit. And I think that's all for me. Thank you.
In conclusion, in the face of global challenges in Islamic financial institutions, the position of financial institutions continues to stand strong despite the various issues plaguing the regulatory framework. A clear new legal focus on Sharia governance and compliance in the Islamic financial sector, finally, higher transparency and accountability of Islamic institutions, banks, in implementing their main goal of preserving financial stability. That's all from our group. Thank you for your attention.